These are 20 things you didn't know about Zlatan. And first up is Zlatan's $18 million secret that he'd rather keep quiet. You see, being the larger-than-life player that he is, Zlatan launched a clothing brand called A to Z, thinking that's a side hustle to make myself more money. But it was a move that would come back to haunt him. Turns out, despite the initial hype and investment, the business failed to make a profit, so much so that it had to be shut down. But for a player like Zlatan, what's $18 million? That's the kind of money he has lying around in his garage. I mean, have you had a look at his car collection? The Ferrari LaFerrari, Enzo Coupe, and Porsche 918 Spider are just some of the cars in this man's collection. And you know what? He still hasn't had enough. Yeah, after Zlatan was continuously disappointed by what people would gift him on his birthdays, he channeled his inner Thanos and was like, fine, I'll do it myself. Since then, whenever Zlatan's birthday comes rolling around, he gifts himself expensive cars you and I can only dream of buying. As recent as 2022, Zlatan posted a picture on his Twitter with this caption. The photography included the front of a Daytona SP3 and the back of an 812 Competizione A. The combined cost of the cars? A whopping 2.5 million euros. If he keeps going at this rate, my dude will be buying entire garages by the time he turns 50. However, things weren't always so easy for soccer's star boy. In fact, Zlatan grew up extremely poor along with 5 other siblings in a dangerous housing project. His house didn't even have enough food to go around, so Zlatan went to school mainly for the free lunches. And to make things worse, Zlatan spoke with a lisp and was self-conscious about his big nose. When the school hired a special teacher to work with him, Zlatan reached his breaking point. After that, it was just him and football. So when he finally got his foot in the door with Ajax Amsterdam in 2001, Zlatan won 2 Dutch titles with the club and scored an impressive 48 goals in 110 appearances. After that, all the big clubs in Europe wanted a piece of Zlatan.
There's only one Zlatan.
And just when his career was looking up, this incident almost made him lose it all. You see, things can get heated in the dressing room, and having an explosive personality like Zlatan certainly doesn't help. So when Zlatan had a falling out with a former professional footballer named Mido, things got a little out of hand. The fight escalated to the point that Mido threw a pair of scissors in Zlatan's direction. Fortunately though, Zlatan was able to avoid any serious injury and live out his wildest dreams. And boy did his career unfold like a dream. From being one of the only players to play for Serie A's Big Three, Milan, Inter, and Juventus, to being Sweden's all-time top goal scorer with an impressive 62 strikes under his belt. He sure showed his haters, huh? Of course, Zlatan didn't stop there. He had to achieve more and more. By the time he went on to play for Manchester United, he was already a titan of the game. And, in true Manchester United fashion, instead of welcoming him to their club, well, they did this. A billboard letting the people of Manchester know that Zlatan welcomed them. Sure, this was cool and all, but what the Swedish Language Council did will have you in disbelief. In recognition of his prowess, Sweden added the word Zlatanera to their official dictionary. The meaning of the word? To dominate. There's really no other indication that you've won at life other than the fact that people start using your name to describe utter dominance. And they didn't stop there. The Swedes were so proud of their son that the people started paying a few coins just to lick the back of his head. Wait, what? It isn't as weird as it sounds. Let me explain. In 2014, the Swedish government decided to honor Zlatan by printing a set of postage stamps with his name on it. In all fairness, though, if anyone deserves a set of their own postage stamps, it's this guy. After he was done conquering the world of football, Zlatan thought it was time to Zlatanera other things. He was always fascinated with the world of MMA and even earned himself a black belt in Taekwondo. For Zlatan, the discipline of the sport is similar to that of football, and so the sport came naturally to him. I don't know about you, but if Zlatan ever steps in the ring, I'm selling my house to see him. Zlatan uses his MMA and Taekwondo training not only in the ring, but sometimes on the football field as well. Seriously, I'm not kidding. The dude's gotten into so many fights, it's difficult to keep track of them. Among his victims is his former coach at Barcelona, Pep Guardiola, and even his AC Milan teammate Oguchi Onyewu. You'll have to admit, though, he took the feuds too far when he clashed with this celebrity. You see, back when Zlatan was playing for LA Galaxy, someone he held in high regard was also going to represent the city of LA, but in an altogether different sport. This man was LeBron James, who had just signed for the LA Lakers and received quite a welcome from Zlatan on Twitter. Of course, LeBron wanted to thank Zlatan for the warm welcome and sent him his jersey. What did Zlatan do? This man signed the jersey and sent it back. The American fans took this as a sign of disrespect, but people who knew Zlatan knew that this was just another day in the life of the Swedish footballer. I mean, this man pulled this boss move just in the beginning of his career. You see, in the early days, an up-and-coming Zlatan was offered a trial at Arsenal by then-coach Wenger. Zlatan's reply: Zlatan doesn't do auditions. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have given him a place in the club based on his confidence alone. Speaking of auditions, Zlatan has had a bit of success in his entertainment career as well. He's starred on TV shows like The Simpsons and Late Late Show with James Corden, and even had his own movie role in the Swedish film Olympic Games. And if we're talking about football and TV shows, we can't leave behind Ted Lasso. In fact, Season 3 of the show features a character that is an homage to Zlatan. The actor playing the role went as far as to say he read Ibrahimovic's book and watched documentaries to prepare for the role of Zava. Despite his fiery personality, Zlatan has a heart of gold. I mean, only a person like that would risk his career with a move like this. You see, in 2015, while he was still playing for PSG, Zlatan scored a goal only 2 minutes into the match, and instead of celebrating, took off his shirt to reveal 15 new tattoos. He was handed a yellow card almost instantly, but things didn't become clear until after the match. Zlatan claimed that the tattoos were the names of 15 real people suffering from hunger, and with his stunt during the match, he wanted to bring attention to them. After all, Zlatan is not unfamiliar with hunger and adversity. In fact, in 2017, he faced a hurdle so big that it almost ended his football career. You see, while playing for Manchester United, Zlatan suffered a career-threatening knee surgery, and when he was rushed to the hospital, the doctors told him what he had feared: "You will never play football again." But this is Zlatan we're talking about. After 7 months of grueling rehabilitation, he defied the odds and returned to play for Manchester. I mean, what else is to be said about Zlatan's tenacity other than the fact that the man's playing well into his 40s? In fact, Ibrahimovic became the oldest goal scorer in Serie A football when he scored against Udinese in March 2023. Despite the struggles, Zlatan still has more than enough gas left in the tank. At least the man rewards himself every birthday for his hard work. But were you ever curious about what other footballers do with their millions? I've got just the video for you.